This is the North Carolina Pottery Center. We are going to go inside and learn a little bit about the pottery here in Seagrove, North Carolina. North Carolina's Native Americans have been making utilitarian and ceremonial vessels for almost 4,500 years. The first cooking pots were curved from soapstone. Around 3,000 years ago, Indians in the southeastern United States began manipulating clay into fired pottery. Women were the primary potters, digging earthen clays, which were then tempered by mixing in sand, crushed rock, or pulverized mussel shells, giving the clay body strength and ability to withstand open-air firings in simple pits. Pinching, coiling, and working techniques were used to create large vessels. Techniques were passed on from generation to generation. The Native American fire pit contained vessels with surfaces textured in varieties of ways, including incising, beating with carved paddles, and pressing textiles, or with burnishing with a polishing stone. Amelanche, Buncombe, and Catawba, Moore, Randolph, and Union counties provided clear evidence that potters produced a variety of head and foot markers for grave. Containers and pedestals for funeral flowers were also prevalent. One of the greatest concentrations of these markers occurred in nearby Union Grove Baptist Church. Check out these jugs with faces on them. Here are the remnants of some old kilns. They don't look like they're no longer in use. Here's a more modern pottery wheel. And look at all of this pottery.
What'd you do with the used to grow. It's like whatever nature gives you.
So, when you are firing them, is that right?
Yes.
Crystals grow on them.
Zinc oxide crystals.
And where does the zinc oxide come from?
It's from a ceramic supply shop.
Okay.
Yep. Everything is bought as a powder because the crystalline glaze does not exist. So we buy everything as powders. We mix it together with water. We make it into a paint or a glaze. You brush the glaze on really thick.
So that is before it's fired.
As before it's fired the second time.
Yeah. So after this, it goes in to be fired.
Well, we have to glue them to a tray. No other process has to do that. But our top temperature initially is 2,300 degrees. So your glaze at that temperature turns into a glass, and it literally is going to run off. This one's a little small, but so each piece is sitting on top of a tray to catch glaze as it runs off. When you get them out, we'll break that tray off of the bottom. Then we have to grind the bottoms back flat. And sometimes the crystals in here are prettier than the crystals that grow on the pottery. But the glaze that runs off can crystal in that as well. But and that's just a byproduct for us. But so yeah, you put them in the kiln, and 15 to 18 hours later, hope you got something looks good. So yeah. Okay.
So now before you get the glaze on them, they look like that?
That's after they've been turned. This is called greenware.
Okay.
They're still damp.
Right.
You see they're dry at the top and damp at the bottom. Then we bisque fire it the first time. Once you bisque fire it, it'll turn a pink color, like this color right here. You can hear a difference.
Yeah.
So this you can break easily.
Right.
This one, once you bisque fire it, it's pretty stout. So then you can handle it. You can glaze it like that right there. Glue it to a tray. Go back in the kiln. And
so now when you glaze it, do you like wet this somehow so that powder will stick to it, or just sticks to it?
We mix the powder with water, and it makes it into a paint or a glaze.
Okay.
It's a really thick, almost like a yogurt-looking type of glaze. It doesn't look like a typical glaze looks, but this has got everything in there. It's got your zinc for the crystal growing. It's got your quartz or silica that's going to melt and make it look like a glass. It's got, this one is a base glaze, which is white. And we take this base glaze and add different minerals, and that'll change the color. So each one of these containers is a different color. Just by taking this base glaze and adding, we add a little bit of copper to make a mint green. This is copper and cobalt to make a Bahama, which is like a blue-green.
Right.
And so forth and so on all the way down. So,
that's amazing.
So yeah, and we just brush that glaze on really thick, so that you end up with a piece that's glazed like that right there, and then put it in the kiln and
then it comes out all smooth?
Yep. Your top temperature at 2,300 degrees, your glazed or silica melts and starts to run off of the piece, and that smooths it out. So you could be the worst painter in the world, and heat and gravity is going to fix it for you. So.
Wow. I was told that there are 12 different types of clay in the Seagrove area. When the settlers first came to the Seagrove area from Europe, some of them were potters. Many were farmers. And during the cold winter season, not a whole lot of farming could take place. But one thing they could do, they could make pottery for their own use and also to sell. And as with a lot of things, once something gets popular, it gets really popular. Now, there are over 50 pottery shops here in Seagrove, several art galleries, and this is a real small town, mind you. I'm continuing my adventure into the art of pottery. I have moved from Seagrove over to a community called Star. And this is pretty interesting. The different types of clay. It says this is unprocessed wood fired for 5 days at 2,400 degrees. This is clay from different counties, Randolph County, Montgomery County, and I'm not sure how to, Montgomery County. This is a sliver of clay from the ground. And here is another. Giant's test tubes of the different type of clay. This is dark star, Catawba, Oklahoma, Cameron, Westmore, Carthage, Mitchfield, Cameron Black, and Cameron Purple. And all these different types of clay are used in making pottery, and depending on what type of clay you use, your pottery will look a little different. Here at Clay Works, there's some clay you can actually touch. That's pretty cool. You dig this stuff out of ground. Clay pit. And here is some art. This is what it looks like, where it's used as intended in Firefest 2013. And another piece of art used in Firefest 2015. Firefest 2017. Firefest 2014. This is a glass gallery with artwork created and the different artists that had done it. And art by Sarah Bland, a little on the creepy side. Well, the ceramic shop and studio is downstairs. Let's go check it out. Well, here is all the supplies for the ceramics. There's a lot. And this is actually the clay that people will come and buy to make their ceramics with. And a lot of this clay, they have different color. Here is a brick colored clay, and there are some tan colored right there. Actually getting ready to blow some glass. The entrance to Starworks, you can have the opportunity to purchase some glass art.
Well, that is going to do it for our trip to the Seagrove area potteries and to Starworks. I learned a lot about pottery and glass today. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. If you did, be sure to give me a big old thumbs up. Be sure to share this video with your family and friends. But until next time, y'all have a good day.